Let's talk about some games that we've been
Let's do that.
playing. So what we've been playing this week, I've got some of the games that I played on stream on our Monday nights. Every Monday night, I've been doing a roguelike stream. A roguelike is a game, they're basically the games where you play them and imagine a Mario game, except it was randomly generated. You never know what you're going to see. But each time you die, you start all the way back at the beginning, fresh save file, just like when you'd boot it up, originally. I love games like that. There are rogue likes like that, and then there are rogue lights like Lite. Those are ones that are very, very similar, except there's progress between each run. You unlock things that make every run after that a little bit easier. So I played both of those kinds of games this past week. I'll start it off with Overwhelm. I played some more of that. That is a game that I am hoping to beat in my next session. If I was a better player, I could probably even beat it sooner. But it takes 2 to 3 hours to play, which is a little more than we've probably played about an hour and a half, maybe. But it's a good one. Let's switch over here. Overwhelm has you pitted against what, one, two, I think five. I'll be able to see it when I die. We'll see me die here pretty quick. All these bosses, but this is me for the first time fighting this spooky Kraken octopus boss. It's the first. It's the tiny part of the game. The game is very small. It's very tight. And in this area, there's water that you see for the first time. Well, you fight these bosses, and as you get their health low, they teleport. As you see my screen kind of like glitch out a little bit. And it's very spooky when they teleport. Yes, very spoopy. But every time you beat a boss, any boss, the Cracktopus, that's a really good name, Shanny Pack. Thank you. Let's see. Every time you beat a boss, all of the enemies, all of the basic enemies in the game evolve. They become bigger and tougher, and the evolution is based on which boss you had beaten. So you have 3 lives to beat the whole game. Anytime you beat a boss, your lives refresh, and there are several opportunities throughout the game to refill your ammo. As you die, the edge of your screen gets spookier and spookier, as you can see in this video, where when you're on your last life, you actually cannot see your ammo at all. It's in the bottom right, but it's blacked out by your panicky tunnel vision. But the game's good. I ended up beating this octopus, fortunately. I don't think I beat it on this attempt, but had a really good time with that. Gosh, teleporting octopus, that's so scary in water. Oh my gosh, can we just get a list of fears going? It's a good time. I didn't make a ton of progress. I mean, I did beat this boss, but I didn't come anywhere near beating like all 5 of the bosses like you're supposed to win. So yeah, it'll be either one if I'm lucky, or 2 more sessions. We'll see. I like the challenge. I like how simple and short this game is. It's an entire game in such a tiny little box, and as the years go by, I value these short experiences more and more. Yeah, I got wrecked. We failed, but the hive grows stronger. But the hive grows stronger in failure. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there are 5 bosses there, and then each time you beat them, you can go to the middle area and refill your ammo. But anyway, game's cool. That game is Overwhelm, made by Devolver Digital. The whole game is black, white, red, and purple, and it plays like an old Metroidvania, kind of. Beat it in 2 to 3 hours. Go play it. It's on Game Pass. You know how we do. Or you can find it on in the normal places for like $15. But it's a pretty dope game. I've got other games I played, but Chris, I'd love to hop over to you.
Yeah, let's talk about Devolver Tumble Time.
Tumble Time.
Yes. So many moons ago, there was an E3 Devolver press conference, one of their great, amazing press conferences.
But let's see. So Devolver Tumble Time. Let's get this
Yes.
video up.
So this was just announced on one of those, and it was great. It looked cool, and then it just disappeared and didn't show up for two more of those press conferences. Like I don't think it was shown off at all.
Yeah.
Um, and then surprise, it was released in January,
Oh.
and it's free and really really good. It's I guess these like t- characters from Devolver games um are toys that like fall into a big tumbler, basically, like a
Right.
bingo tumbler.
As you do.
Um, and you sort of like Tetris them or Puya Puya. You like touch it as long as there's three of them that are sort of touching. You're trying to link a whole bunch of them up, and yeah, I'm struggling to figure out how exactly to describe this, but it's very Puya Puya Tetris like. And you touch those, and the sounds are great. All the little characters are fun. The difficulty is pretty high.
Okay.
Like it does start getting to a place where you're just like, damn, okay, I gotta do. Then it'll be like, since there's like four different toys dropping, you could be like, all right, well, I'm gonna remove one, and that'll make it easier to get to the goal that I need to get to in order to advance the level.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. You you do trash pulls,
As you do.
as you just saw there, to pull characters. Certain levels will be like you can only use one of these three characters. You have a time limit. Each character has a little special ability and stuff. It's really good. It's like a great, great mobile game to play. Like I cannot sing the praises of it enough. The writing's really funny and clever. Like the mayor or whoever that is will message you, um, and just say really funny things that are like mobile game related and things like that. It's really great, and a lot of fun. And like I just feel like, oh, Shanny just says he just downloaded that.
Yeah. Well, I think you might be referring to Wizard with a Gun, which is another Devolver joint. You'll have to
Oh, sweet.
clarify for us, Shani, because I'm interested. Shani says their mobile company in the game, this one, which would mean he is talking about this one, is
Yeah.
Play, Stay, Pay.
Question.
Which is
Yeah, they like do it all the time. They'll be like, "Hey, you could spend real world money on this thing," but they're doing it in a way that is like very, very funny.
Yeah. I mean, we
Like
remember Devolver Digital's conference at E3 2 years ago.
yes,
There's a reason that Devolver is the best in the whole business. They're the number one publisher in my book. Uh,
amazing. And this is what I love right here. Thomas is Shanny downloaded Tumble Time. Benson just installed Tumble Time. This is why we do
that's true. That's true. You
this
love to
to
see it.
help shine lights. I feel like this game was like after the conference, everybody was like, "That looks rad," and then like even this announcement of it coming out and all this stuff, just like
Under the
I
radar.
feel like I don't hear anybody talking about it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"No, this game is awesome. It's really good."
Oh, that makes it me. That reminds me. I saw. There was a game, Loop Hero. Somebody
Oh
told
yeah,
me to
Loop
check out Loop Hero, and if you go to loophero.com, I believe, if you Google it and go to the website, if I've got it wrong, Loop Hero is a game that's like a dungeon crawl. It's a roguelike. It's a whatever. It's a pixel art roguelike, but the website is so fucking good, and
yeah,
it's exactly why I love Devolver so much. The website is phenomenal. Visit it on a desktop. I'll get you the thing here in a minute. I'll get the actual website so I get it right. But um, an
yeah. I got Loop
amazing
Hero for
website for that. Inscriptions website is very good as well.
incredible. Yep.
And then this one says DevolverTumbleTime.com. I don't even have to look. I already know the website's going to be great because anytime they advertise a website, it's always worth visiting.
Let's find out.
It's like its own
Devolver
game.
TumbleTime.com.
In the Loop Hero website, you basically play the game just by scrolling down. It's fantastic. It sounds much cooler than or it is much cooler than that sounds. But I was very impressed by it.
So love this. It's basically the game, and then as you're like trying to click on it and play the game, The mayor says, "Whoa there, not so fast. You'll be able to download the app and fully engage with our monetization model later this year."
Lol.
Hilarious.
That's funny.
Um, and yeah, it's just like showing you sort of how the game works basically in this. This is great. This is very good.
Hell yeah. Well,
Um,
wonderful. So that's Tumble Time. You've been playing that on your phone. Yeah?
Android and Apple, yes, it's on everything. So it's free. Go download that ish.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
That is great. Okay, well then we'll bounce back to me. Let's see here. What else did I play? Oh, kitty, I can hear you crawling around back here. What's going on?
Uh-oh.
I
Uh-oh.
hear I hear a kitty.
Uh-oh.
I don't see a kitty. She's caught in the icebergs back here behind me. Um, yeah, I love that all of you have installed or have it on your short wish list. Huh? Is it a call
Oh
back or
yeah,
is it a call forward? Because we haven't talked about the wish list yet, but I
yeah,
love it.
here's the Shanny pack. Fork Parker, Devolver's CFO, wants my money. That's what that character's name is. Fork Parker.
Fork Parker.
And he's the chief financial officer of Devolver.
Well, I love it.
It's fantastic.
That is fantastic. Let's see. What else did I play? Let's see. After I played Overwhelm this past week, I played more Slay the Spire. That game rules.
That's a very good game.
Yeah, that game super rules. Let's put this bad boy on the big screen. So this is me on a fresh save file because I've played Slay the Spire very much on my Nintendo Switch. This was me making a brand new save file on Game Pass, Slay the Spire's on Game Pass. So I made a brand new save file, and this was my very first run. I started it a couple weeks ago, and then I finished it this week. But it's good stuff. So as you can see here, if you're not familiar with Slay the Spire, this is kind of if you're going to know one game in this genre, it should be this one. So this is a deck building roguelike, or roguelite, but whatever, who's counting. And you start with a few cards with abilities on them, and as you fight and defeat enemies, you can build your deck. You get served options to choose from. You don't always get what you want, but you got to make it work. You got to adapt and improve. It's kind of the name of the game with roguelikes. So you see me fighting this boss here. There are two basic enemies, and then the boss, which is an awakened one, but he's not awake yet. So I fight him. You have to kill him once, and then you fight him. You have to defeat him a second time once he's extra powerful. We beat him. I can't believe we beat him on my very first try.
Awesome.
But this goes to illustrate why I love streaming these games. I love playing them, but I love streaming them too, because anything can happen in these games. But even with the games that don't give you progress between your runs, like a game like Hades, right? Even if you don't escape Hades in that wonderful, fantastic game, you always walk away with something that you can use to make yourself better. Maybe you can upgrade your character. Maybe you get to unlock a relationship with somebody in that game or whatever. But for a lot of these, it's you, the player. It's you, the human player, leveling yourself up, right? You get to learn and experience, oh, I did this and it did not work very well. I'm glad I experimented with that, but I'll never do it again because I know it'll kill me. And the next time you come back, stronger, practically leveled up. So you do that enough, and it doesn't matter what the game throws at you. You are a better player than you were before. So this illustrates that is me walking into the game with the bare bones that you can start with. But because I have experience, I was able to take advantage of everything and go on to win. So that felt really good. That felt really validating. I really enjoyed playing it. Slay the Spire is really, gosh, it's such a good game. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'd say that Slay the Spire is a 10 out of 10 game to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I would say to give it a 9, honestly.
I love all these types of games. You know that. That's why we did a la carte.
Yeah, it is. Well, this game is the number one game that got me into roguelikes so much and deck building games. So not just one genre, but two. and it opened my eyes up to a lot of games that kind of blend genres as well. That take this thing from over here and this thing from over here and mix them in a new way you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And even after spending all this time, I still see new interactions in the game, special new pictures and icons and words and all of this that I've never seen before. So it feels good being able to revisit a game like this, and still, after all this time, I still feel like I'm seeing new things. I continued to the stream. Let's bounce somewhere ahead here. I did the the daily run for this game.
Hmm.
It was really fun. I played as the defect, who's a character. There are four characters in Slay the Spire. They all play very differently. They all have different sets of cards to pull from, to build your deck around um, and all this. You'll still fight. You'll still fight the same enemies. You'll still see the same encounters and visit the shopkeeper and stuff. But your character will be very different. So the daily for this one was every time you add a card to your deck, you actually add 3 copies of that card. Not just one, but 3. And you cannot remove any cards from your deck using the merchant, which is the primary way of removing cards. So I had been kind of like teaching chat as I played this run, kind of teaching chat how different strategies would work if you were to play the game. And, like here, it's like, okay, here are my options. If I did this, it would be good. But here in the daily challenge, it's not going to help me very much here. And that was its own special fun too. But it gave me the defect character. It filled my deck with tons and tons and tons of cards. But as you learn with deck builders, it's not always about having good cards in your deck, or having a lot of good cards in your deck. It's about having only cards that work together well in your
Yeah.
deck. Because if you have a huge, like in here, at this timestamp, I have 52 cards in my deck, which is quite a bit. But when you think about me being at the very beginning of my run, that's huge. So let's skip ahead. Let's see, I'm fighting this boss before I ended my run fighting this boss. And I never lost, so hopefully I can pick it up and play more. Because I didn't want to be done playing that night. I wanted to keep going. But I have 75 cards in my deck by now. And my
Oh, God.
goal, if I'm still able to pick up that run again, which I think I'm able to, I want to get over 100 cards, which should be doable. Then the question is, with 100 cards, can I beat the game? Because the daily challenges, are not meant to be balanced at all, but they're really fun if you want to see fireworks. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
I built this deck here where I struck the enemy with lightning a ton of times. Yeah, and I beat him. I was really excited about that. But yeah, Slay the Spire, it's very good. It's on whatever platform you want it to be on. I think it's even on
Everything.
mobile now, actually.
It's on everything. Yep.
It's on everything. Slay the Spire, please go play it and tell me, what your favorite deck so far has been. I love hearing about that game. In fact, when we first reintroduced it to our community a couple months ago, I was like, hey, I'm going to play Slay the Spire again because I'm starting up this new stream with, at the beginning of 2023. And everybody started playing it again because once you see it, you're like, well, maybe I'll just play one round. And so there was a wonderful day of 3 people. I think it was Odysseus, Lord Chrome 375, and Mr. Jerp, who were all streaming the game in Discord while I was doing other stuff. So I was able to watch 3 different runs at a time. It was wild. It's so much fun, and it's great being able to talk to other people about a game like this where every run is just totally different. So love that one. Big fan. Big fan. So yeah, that was my stream 2 weeks ago. No, that was my stream this week. I'm all mixed up. Time's
Last
funny.
week, yep.
I told you it's like New Year's. We're between the end of we won the Super Bowl and then we had the parade. All of the past like 5 days have just been a haze of, it feels like Sunday every day, kind of.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, let's bounce back over to you, Chris.
Okay.
What do we got? You played in the Mowatorium. You
In
played.
the Mowatorium, I played some Hitman Freelancer. And Thomas, I have bad news for you.
Oh, Chris, I don't like bad news.
I don't think Hitman Freelancer is good.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say it wasn't for you. Oh, that's much more. That's much
and
sadder
and that,
news.
and that's like, so here's my reasoning why, and you could throw up my gameplay from not this past Tuesday since it was Valentine's Day, but the Tuesday before. Um, so part of the best parts of Hitman are listening in the campaign is like listening to people around you and then going and figuring out a way to kill this person, and it's scripted, right?
Right, right.
Well, and like all of those really fun ways you get to do this stuff, because there's 8 opportunities out of, this person's like path or
Right. They
whatever.
go over here and then they take a drink and they go over here and they're under the chandelier and they go over here and they
Yeah.
watch the fireworks.
Now, part of the problem with Freelancer is that it randomizes who it is,
Right.
who your targets are. Well, guess what?
What?
Some of those people's scripts are awful,
Oh no.
and there's nothing you can do. There's no place to get them away. There's no way to get them away unless you throw a coin or something.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like path or thing that would be like, oh, this is how I'm going to be able to get to this person.
Are the
Like,
are the normal story characters like you're at the mansion, right? Is the family who owns the mansion there, like in the story mode?
yeah, yes, all those things are still there. Um,
Well, because I
but
say that because I wonder if like I mentioned the fireworks earlier. You launch off the fireworks, and sure, like the main target in the story mode goes out to the balcony or whatever and watches it. Um, and that kind of like moves the level. It moves it to like a new state where it's like before characters act like this, but now that the fireworks display has gone off, a bunch of different characters in the map have like a different
different
routine.
thing.
Do you think that would apply to
I
this?
don't.
Would that even mean anything?
I don't know. Um, and it's just the game is too hard. It's too hard. Like making any progress in this feels like like a huge chore.
Yeah.
And like even just going, okay, I'm just gonna hop in and hop into a mission. If I hop into a mission and the people that it's having me kill are in really weird places, like what am I supposed to do? Like
Yeah.
how am I supposed to, like, earlier today I hopped into the one that's uh the winery.
Uh-huh. I
All
remember
this
that one.
lady does that I have to kill is she just walks around in the area, in like the parking area where everybody's going to this party where there's hundreds of people. And that's all she does. So at what point and
I
where
mean,
am I supposed to
I know
take
some of the challenges for the roguelike mode are very much like kill 3 bodyguards with an assault rifle was one that I
Yeah,
had seen. So
yes.
it definitely seems like it wants you to just be kind of wilder. Because I know that like when I played the game and it was like, hey, you unlocked a sniper rifle. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to be all sneaky like. And I never
Yeah.
used the strong weapons or I never used any of those. And I wonder if the game, because it can, you get an unlock like that, like it'll give you a gun, but you only get it for the rest of that run. I wonder if they're
Yeah.
really trying to give players an opportunity to just be Rambo a little more often. Because like what you're describing like that, I if it's not a story character who you can pull away, what the hell do you do? Does the game
And that's
penalize you for not being stealthy? Like, do you get bonus points for not
well,
being found out?
biggest problem is like most of the maps you're going to be in, there's a lot of guards and you run incredibly slow. So if you take out somebody in public and then have to try to get out, like it's just a disaster. Even this one, I complete this mission,
Mm-hmm.
but this character I'm supposed to kill, she goes dancing and then she walks around the corner and smokes a cigarette and that's it.
Well,
There was also a character on the same map where all he does is ride a Sea-Doo around, hops off the Sea-Doo, stands right next to it so you can't mess with the Sea-Doo at all, smokes a cigarette, and then hops back on and then rides around again.
okay, sounds to me like you need like C4 to set where both of those people stand, or
And
a sniper
what I
rifle,
did is
because
I found
I
a
don't
but
see.
right, exactly. So like it's like how do you even do this without being noticed? Like this one turns into a disaster because I walk into the room and didn't realize there was a lady right there and I ended up stabbing.
I can
but
just hear
like,
your voice. And whoa!
oh god. I was like, oh, is she just? I specifically remember this. She walked into this room and this guy leaves, and I go, oh, perfect.
Oh, because the visuals don't make it
Because
look
see,
like
look,
there's.
and there's a lady right there. I was like, what? What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
God.
oh no! Oh my goodness! You murderer!
I didn't know she was sitting there. So when I walked in and like pulled out my weapon to like sneak up behind the other lady, that lady stood up and was like, "Hey, what the hell?"
Oh my gosh! Things that only happen in video games. I was only trying to walk across the room. The stabbing happened on its own.
Yeah, that was a mistake. But like, that's the thing is that's it's just frustrating. Like I want to feel like I'm making progress, and literally every mission I'm getting into, everything goes to shit so fast and so not in a fun way. It just feels like you're not having the fun of Hitman that you should be having with it. Like first few missions I played, I was like, man, this is awesome. This
Yeah.
is really cool. I'm glad they did this. And then the more I've played it, I've been like, I think I hate this. I think I actually don't like this at all.
Okay, so hear me out. All right, hear me out. I'm reading some of what Shanny's saying here in chat of some runs he's seen, and because this is a new roguelike addition to Hitman, this game's never had this before, where you start with nothing and then you run through these missions, you have randomized targets, and then you know, you unlock gear to take in, sure, but if you die, if you lose the whole run, even if you had 8 levels successful before this, if you die, you're dead. You lose all of it, which to me is, those are the games I like. But to a lot of people, that sounds really frustrating. So like to not only have what you're describing, but then to maybe do that successfully a few times and then just die to some dumb crap, like I tend to do. Uh, it would feel bad to lose all that stuff. So
And it's also just like in this specific situation, that lady dances, steps over, smokes a cigarette, that's it. So what I have to end up doing is I think I just throw a knife or I throw the screwdriver into her face while she's standing there, and then I have to run out and make sure that nobody spotted me
yeah,
randomly. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a it's how I would not I do not want to play Hitman like that. I want to live in the map and like have
you
a
feel
lot of
immersed in it,
there's
and
so much fun in there.
yeah. Well, I
Especially with
tell you
the
what.
story stuff
So
and all that, and it just I
what
feel like it
if
just falls flat.
what if you put a pin in this, and
Uh-huh.
sometime, I don't know, in the next 6 months. I know that's a huge window, but maybe that'll also give them time to like hear feedback and turn it into the game that you know that everybody's happy with. But what if a bunch of us pick this up at the same time later down the road? We all pick it up and we record ourselves playing, right? Each of us, everybody in chat who would, I can think of almost like 5 people, I think, who play this game who might be interested in that. It'd be fun, the same way that like when Deadpool, Hot Rod, and I all played Noida at the same time, and No Hugs for You, which I've been hanging out with in Discord, and he's always subbing in Twitch, so shout out to you. Uh, you know, we all picked this up at the same time, so playing Noida by itself wasn't where all the fun was. It was also just like sharing and seeing each other's wild moments of like, holy cow, can you believe this happened in my run? You know, so that
Yeah.
even when like stuff didn't go your way or a run was like kind of bullshit or something, you could still find a way to enjoy sharing it with each other. So this sounds kind of like yeah, hey, check out this stupid wand, says Deadpool. Yeah, that's exactly what that's so much of what we did. That would be you being
And
like, how in the world am I supposed to take this person out? But then somebody else popping in and being like, yo, check out this crazy way that I took out somebody in the middle of a crowd.
I thought it would be like more like how the like elusive targets were. You know how they just like drop it'd be the same apps but they would just drop like this special couple characters that you need to take out. And it was like timed and they were only out for like a certain amount of time and then they would disappear and then they'd come back. I think one was like Sean Bean was one of them. He was an elusive target.
Yeah, I remember that.
Um yeah. And so it was like more structured. It was more like, oh well, it's the same map, but now this is the character you have to go after, and here's like his little story or whatever, and you have to go do that. Here it's just so random. I feel like it loses out on the part that like really makes Hitman awesome.
Yeah. Shanny says Sean Bean is the least elusive target.
Yes.
You're like, I know who he is. I recognize that guy.
And see, in that situation, all I did was throw that screwdriver and nobody saw me apparently. But 98% of the time in any of these other randomized characters, you do that and somebody sees it and then you're all hell just breaks loose so fast, dude. And like I heard like the Next Lander guys talking about it, and I was watching them play it, and like even Brad was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna be done with this soon." Um,
Oh, that's a bummer
and
because I
like
saw
he was
my notification
he was
for Nextlander saying Hitman.
Uh, but I know that like Alex Navarro loves it, but he's just like he's also going, "That's this mode, man." And as like Brad is trying to run out of the building, getting shot by 50 different people, because you're just like, "Oh, I'm good," like you are sometimes in Hitman,
Yeah.
the regular game. You're like, "Oh, nobody can see what I'm doing right now," and then somebody does see what you're doing right now. But
And
it's
yeah.
so unforgiving on what it's allowing you to keep or take with you, and like all of that, that it just makes it just a little I don't know. It's like one of those things where like it's fun to just hop on the Steam Deck and play really quick, but kind of feeling like it's going to get uninstalled soon.
Yeah. It'd be like
So
that. Well, go ahead and uninstall it, and yeah, I'd love to revisit that game for real with you and others, because I know that I'm not going to have a chance to play it, not the way that I want to with it. I mean, not at least 2 months from now, you know. Um, which is to say, it would be at least a couple months before I touched it, and it'd probably be much further out than that. But I would love to jump in that game in a way that we could all chat about it together and kind of have our own. We talked about having a Hitman book club when 3 first came out, and it was fun to
yeah,
share some of that stuff with each other. But we were all playing at different rates, and you don't want to spoil stuff and yada yada.
right.
Um, so maybe we can revisit this in the future. So Chad, if you're out there and that's something you're interested in, keep an eye on our socials, and I'd love to have something maybe 6 months from now, a whole big community Hitman thing. We can all revisit this and see what what hijinks we can get up to. Yeah, but besides this mode, Hitman's dope. We love that game. It's why you're playing it.
Yeah.
Um, game's a lot of fun. Even though a ton of people have said a lot of good things, I still think that game is not played enough by enough people. Um, it's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
not for everybody for sure, but lots and lots of fun to have. But what else? So to bounce back to me for the last of what we've the last of what we've been playing. Um, what did I play? I played Darkest Dungeon last Monday. Darkest Dungeon is a game that I've owned since day one of early access. It has gone through a huge, huge number of changes between today and when it first came out on early access.
You mean two? You
Darkest
talk
Dungeon
about
2.
two.
Yep, Darkest Dungeon
Okay.
2. And the 1.0 release, so when Darkest Dungeon 2 officially comes out the way the developers intend, that day is May 8th of this year, 2023. So if you're not sure if you're going to like the game that I'm about to describe, then, or you're on the fence, is what I mean, then definitely wait till the 1.0, because that'll be the best version of the game. But it's gone through tons of changes. Those changes have basically entirely been positive ones. They've been positive ones, and this time was me running in, making, just like Slay the Spire, making a fresh save file. But this time it actually was out of my control because it's been so long since the last time I played this, about 4 to 6 months, something like that. It's been such a long time that the game is so different now that my old save file was moot. So they were, they had said many patches ago, they were like, hey, by the way, stuff's changed enough that you're basically starting from scratch now when you log back in again, which is fine because I knew that I'd be okay with that. That's why I bought the game for $20 in early access, way before it's finished. So most of I would tell people don't pre-order games, but if you know you'll really like something, keep an eye out for early access because that's when you can you can even you can positively influence the content of a game that way. because the developers want feedback from you. Anyway, what is Darkest Dungeon? Darkest Dungeon is another roguelike. It's a Lovecraftian tactics game, or it's like a tactics game anyway, and I'll show you why. This is a game where everything's going bad all the time, and you try to try to make the best of a bad situation. The game tells you that somewhere in here when you boot it up. Let's see if I can find the right screen. I can't, but you know what? We'll let this cutscene run. Yeah, let's put this up here. Oh, that's the wrong one. How do I use this thing? Here we go. Here's the trailer on full screen. It's got this wonderful art style to it. Of course, this is just cinematic, not the gameplay. But everything's going wrong all the time. Whereas in the first game, you were mostly fighting like very spooky enemies and some humans. This game has you fighting a lot of humans, actually. The whole world has gone crazy. So you fight regular, very angry humans. You fight knights. You fight skeletons. You fight people in these burning cities that use all flame attacks, and they're like basically flame elementals, essentially. I still haven't seen fish people. I thought I was going to see fish people like the first game because I went to a new area called, what was it, the docks? Or it wasn't the docks, but it was something like, oh, it's called the Shroud, which was new. I haven't played since they added that, so I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, we saw all sorts of new stuff. There are tons and tons and tons of changes. I'm not going to go into the weeds of what those are, but if I can fast forward here, somewhere up here. Once upon a time, I made a timestamp. So most of the game looks like this. You are, well, not most of the game, but you're navigating the world in this carriage. You're choosing which path to go to, maybe you want to fight enemies this time, or maybe you want to go heal. Or the hoarder is here, and you can trade him. You can trade with him. So you ride on this road until you come to an encounter, and then you deal with it. At the end of each area, you find an inn where you can heal. You can make long-term upgrades. There are lots of items you get that can only be used at an inn, so basically in between areas, in between runs, kind of. Now, I only have the starting 4 characters because since the game reset and I'm on a new save file, they changed the way that you unlock new characters, the way that you progress between runs. I think it's a very big improvement now where basically as you continue to fight, you do challenges and all this stuff, and you get candles. Candles represent your, basically you're like, it's your currency to unlock anything new that you might encounter in your run. I think you can use them to unlock characters, but you really are going to use them to unlock the chance to see new items. You can unlock upgraded trinkets. So now on your runs, there's a higher chance of you finding cooler stuff. But you can spend your money on tons and tons and tons of things. Actually, let me go way back here and see if I can find that. Yeah, it's somewhere on this screen. You at the beginning of each run can spend your like permanent currency on stuff, and so that's brand new in this game. Darkest Dungeon 1 and 2 are 2 very different games. They're very, very different, but with these newest updates, they added a bunch of more familiar elements and a few screens. Like in the first game, you're upgrading your town, the hamlet. In this game, you don't have a hamlet, but you are upgrading like your stagecoach that you ride around in. And you see lots of imagery that is evocative of that, but there's a lot to unpack in this game. I'm really excited to pick up this run that I played. I'm really excited to pick up this run in our next stream, or get here again soon. But really enjoyed that. This is Darkest Dungeon 2. It's made by Red Hook Games, and this I think is a crowning example. If there's one thing you take away from Darkest Dungeon 2, even if you're never going to play it, even if you don't even care what I've said so far, this is a shining example of what a game can grow to be using early access. Oh gosh, this was me. I forgot about this. Look at my reaction. This was me not realizing that if I didn't kill this final enemy Like if I left him for last, he turns from totally no threat at all, which is why I left him for last. He turns from no threat at all to exploding, self-destructing, and boy, just sure causing a whole lot of trouble. Yeah. Oh, good. Does a huge amount of damage to my team. Stresses him out really bad. Here's my
Yeah.
highwayman melting down. And I think something happens to my other guy, right? Oh, it'll happen to him later. But when people melt down, it's not good. Yeah, victory, but in the very last turn. Ouch. Lots of surprises in this game. Anyway, this game is a shining example of what early access can be because the game came out in one version, and I said, I loved your first game so much, I'm down for whatever you got. And I helped submit bug reports and feedback and hey, like this part was fun, but this part was confusing. And I know that other people have said that too because those changes have been reflected in the game. It just keeps getting better, but it's cool to see them release a version of it so early. To then have the community help be the captain as well. I'm just really happy about it. The game is different in so many ways. I'll play some more and report back. I don't know, in a few weeks or something. But I really had a good time playing this. There was a free demo during Steam Next Fest, which didn't apply to me because I already owned the game. But I saw that during Next Fest, they were the third most played demo and the third most wishlisted game in the entire festival. So, hell yeah. I really recommend this to people who like the first game, though it's a lot different. But yeah, it's you playing a run where you're pretty much doomed to failure unless you can, get lucky and just play really, really well. But at first you will fail and then you will succeed because first you have to learn what not to do in an unforgiving world. And then in your next run, you try something new. And as you try and learn and do all these things, you get better every time. And the reward that you get, much like a Dark Souls game, because it's so punishing. Every victory that you get is that much more rewarding because you're always, and anytime you see a new challenge, it's because you earned it. But anyway, I've said enough words about Darkest Dungeon 2. Game's great. Like I said, it's the number 3 wish listed item. But Chris, actually, could we take a few minute break real quick if that's all right with you?
Totally.
Yeah, I gotta take a minute, hydrate or dihydrate everybody, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about our wish lists. So tell us in chat what's your if you go to your Steam or anywhere wish list right now, what's your number 1 most anticipated buy? Or like what's the thing you're looking at the most? You're like, if this goes on sale, that's the first thing I'm buying. Tell us that in chat, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Sweet. All right, let's get some music back on. Chill vibes. It's gotta be Ooblets on stream. So you don't have to buy it on Epic to play on PC. What are you talking about? Astro Trucks? What are you... Oh, you're number one. Right. Your number one wish list item. Astro Trucks, huh? Or Ooblets. I mean, cool. Those are both both worth checking out. Yeah, I'm gonna write these down. Ooblets.
Almost back. Just had to warm up some food, Thomas.
Astro Truck. Hey, it's all good, my friend.
Getting hangry.
I hear that.
I know you are too.
It's true. It's true. Let's see. How are we looking on this list here? We've got the two you got. Let me look up one of these. Benson, what are you saying? He streams what on Fridays? You mean he streams Astro Trucks development? If so, wow, okay. Huge if true, and sounds true. Crazy. He streams development of Astro Trucks. That is ambitious. I mean, that's ambitious in many ways. That's really interesting. Benson, I saw your pictures. I knew exactly where you and Sav were during the parade because I was like, wait a minute, I've been there. Parade looked lit. Looked lit, fam.
I'm back, I guess.
Yo.
Yeah, Brookside Constantino's has some pretty dope chicken spaghetti. I gotta tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Their deli is legit.
Okay, let's we're just about done. I'm pulling a couple more trailers for the wish list here from y'all's suggestions. So these aren't even games I'm familiar with, but as I'm just, perusing for a moment, seem cool. Alright, then I think we're about ready. Reminder, chat, anybody who has screenshots, it has to be something that you took yourself, even if it's just a main menu. No pulling a wall, don't Google wallpapers like I do for the games you want. But always looking for submissions for these BRB screens. I think we got 25 photos in the rotation now, and that can be even more. The more the merrier. So if you all want to submit them, best place probably to do that is to DM me on our Discord. Here's a link to our Discord for anybody who's not out there. We're all very friendly. Or when we're not, we try to keep each other in line. I think we do a pretty good job of that. I got 1, I got 2, I got 3. Sweet. Okay, I got 3 here. So let's see, Chris, you got 2, so I will start. I'll actually start with Inkbound. Well, I mean, give me a second. We're still on BRB. But we'll start with Inkbound since you do know about it. Let me.
I do.
All right, getting us back on screen so we can see you eat. That's the extra content people pay for. That's right. Oh my gosh, then I see myself on screen and I'm just like, what am I doing here? I need to look in a mirror before I get on here. Okay, well, let's get back in. Like, speaking of wish lists, because I mentioned Darkest Dungeon 2 was the 3rd most wishlisted item on Steam from the Steam Next Fest. Let's dive into our party topic tonight, which is our wish lists. While I entirely missed playing any demos during that time, I've been very interested in what people have had to say about the games that they played there. We had a pre-show. I think it was 2 weeks ago. We had a show right before Next Fest, so we showed tons of demos of things we were excited for. Well, I didn't play any of them, so I was thrilled to have feedback from the community for some of their games. So, a game that was recommended by Shanny Pack and at least one other person. Somebody else had mentioned it. And Chris, obviously, you like it, is the game Inkbound. This is a game that I basically know nothing about, so I'm going to pull up the trailer here in a moment, but what can you tell me about it, my friend?
Well, Thomas, I downloaded this demo
Oh.
and did not get a chance to play it because I only got to play one demo out of the whole Steam Next Fest and the 5 games or whatever I downloaded.
As you do.
I was only able to play Planet of Lana, which was cool. But Inkbound is a tactical roguelike like co-op game made by the people who made Monster Train.
Oh, right. Shanny had told me that, and I knew that was a game changer for me. I streamed Monster Train a little while ago. It's a good game. It's a fun game.
Very good game. So yeah, I downloaded this and I was excited to play it, and then didn't because it was so busy that weekend, and then it was gone. So that was
and it's gone.
Super tight.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it looks very, very cool. You got that trailer going?
I do. Just give me a moment here. I forget that I don't want to show my whole butt when I do a display capture like this.
Oh, you always have to show your whole butt.
My whole butt. Well, I do a good job of doing that. People will tell you. If there's an accident to be made, look, if I can't be a lighthouse, let me be a shipwreck. That's what I always say. So now we're showing this Inkbound trailer here. Oh, hello. This is a human talking. Interesting. Is this part of the gameplay? Is this like Inscription?
I didn't know. I missed this part because I skipped ahead to the...
Skipped ahead, he says. Oh, my...
Whoopsie doodle. I just wanted to make sure it was showing gameplay and stuff.
Hey, that's all good. I'm just poking fun.
I couldn't find the goods,
So here we go. So what's going on here? We've got isometric, it looks like. What type of game is this? Like, I don't even know. Is it a roguelike? Is it a tactics game?
Yes, and like you like characters have like almost like MOBA move sets, kind of like there's a central gathering area like Destiny. And they almost have like here you go, he's getting into a mission now. But yeah, you can play with people. It's co-op. That's the part that I was so excited about. I was like, oh, cool.
Right.
Let's do that. You'll see when he gets into some combat here. This looks like it might be up your alley, Thomas.
I like video games.
See, look at this.
Bang! Boom! Kapow! Marked. Ooh, that's in
Yeah, I like
Darkest Dungeon.
yeah,
Um,
I like the look of it too.
Me too. Lots of bright colors. A clear but not cluttered user interface. Like I like that all the stuff in the UI on the bottom is uniform.
Hmm.
Helps my eyeballs. I have trouble with really busy screens a lot, and in fact, I'm always trying to learn more about myself and why I do and don't like the things I do and don't like. And I think one of the reasons I shy away from a lot of uh, more Eastern titles, more like JRPGs and crazy hack and slashes and stuff, is when there's so many numbers and stuff on screen, I just have trouble parsing it.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I just
me too.
I just I really have trouble understanding what's important because in my head I'm like, you're giving everything on on screen equal importance, which means that I don't have context for anything. Like if I'm supposed to care, what am I supposed to care about here? There's a lot
Right.
happening. Every color of the rainbow is on here, and it's I don't know. We'll skip back up here. I think.
Yeah, and Shanny says I had like 4 different moves by the end. They all have cooldowns and action points. Um, Basically, it shows you how much damage you'll take before your moves, so you can plan out your actions, knowing what the enemies are going to do.
Oh, knowing what the enemies are going to do sounds like Into the Breach.
Yeah.
Another
So
roguelike I like very much. I
yeah,
guess I guess you know what the enemies are going to do in Monster Train too, huh?
yeah,
So there's
you do.
the carryover.
Yeah, looks very cool. Pretty bummed I didn't get to mess around with it, but
Well, that is Inkbound. Yeah, add it to our wish list. I mean, it seems pretty cool to me.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot to enjoy there. So cool. Inkbound, that was submitted by Shani. That was one that I had been interested in for Steam Next Fest, but never actually touched. Obviously, neither of us have put hands on it yet, but seems cool. So Inkbound. And then we bounce over to you, Chris, like rapid
all
fire.
right. So I'm gonna go. Let's go with to keep on the theme we were just on, Thomas. Let's do the endless dungeon one.
You got it.
Endless dungeon. Let me make sure I have all this information correct, so I'm not just talking out of my butt. Endless Dungeon is published by Sega, made by Amplitude Studios. It is a co-op roguelike tactical action game.
Tactical
Um,
action game.
Tactical
Taction
action.
game.
Yes. There's a lot of. I was watching the day this came out, so it's not out yet, quote unquote. It's coming May 18th, 2023. But if you pre-purchase Endless Dungeon, the standard edition, $29.99, you can play the game right now. Just early access. Um, and I was watching a stream of it the day that they had done that, and it just looks cool. The way everything looks fantastic. Different characters have different things that they can do. Um, there's a lot of, hey, let's run around into this room. Let's get set up. We have to go. Oh, we need to go start the engine over here, or we have this thing to repair. But hey, a wave of enemies is about to show up, so we need to make sure that we set up our defenses together as a team
Mm-hmm.
in order to take these things out. And it just looks so good. It looks so good. It's very pretty. Um,
Yeah, seems real cool.
and it's co-op too, so that's so much good times can be had in co-op games.
So do
I
you
love games
know
like this.
do you know if this specific game, because this is like checking a whole lot of boxes for me in
Yes,
just tons and tons of ways. Do you know if the co-op is 2 to 4 players? Because I think games that are similar to this often bite off only a little bit. 3?
I believe it is 3 players.
Okay, 3 could be good. 3 was a
uh
really good number for Apex and Remnant from the Ashes.
yes, and like I said, um you get the early access and all that stuff. I believe is still the thing that they're doing. I could double check that. Pre-orders starting now. If you oh sorry, the Last Wish edition is the one you need. Um, it includes the closed beta access, which I hope is still going on. I'm not exactly sure, and 48-hour pre-release, you will be able to play as well. But it looks very, very cool. Like I said, May 18th is when it's coming. So we don't have that much longer to wait for it. But looks great. I remember seeing like a trailer for it at one of those things, um, you know, Indie Fest or whatever. And I was like, wow, this looks awesome. Yeah, I was able to sit and watch a little playthrough. I couldn't really tell exactly what they were doing and what their objectives were, but I had never
Yeah,
played the game before, so you get a better handle on that stuff through tutorials and things like that. So,
yeah, for sure.
but it looks great, and like I said, uh, May, so very close.
Yeah, excited for that.
I'll be here May 18th. I'll be here before you know it, actually. So that one looks really great. Um, but yeah, that's one I wanted to shout out because um, it's one of those ones that every year, we have these E3 things and we watch all these trailers and then we're like, ooh, that one looked cool, and then we forget about them for 2 years or whatever, and then
Yep.
it's like, hey, that release is coming up soon, and like no one's talking about it, you
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
know.
Yeah, I mean that'll happen a lot, right? So it's nice. I mean that's one of the reasons I like bringing this up on the show and having everybody share what they're interested in, because there's so much stuff. There's so many good games that are worth playing now, and people are so talented creatively and as like programmers and designers and all of this, that smaller teams than ever can make better games than ever with smaller resources than ever. So like the opportunity is the best it's ever been, both as a creator and a player. And so much stuff is available. I mean, there are lots of little gems on Game Pass, right? Like you might get Game Pass for one of the big games or a co-op game to play with your friends, but there are all these tiny little gems on it, like Overwhelm's on there. Slay the Spire, you may never buy it on your own, but hey, you got it bundled up. And uh, there are just so many great things in all these wonderful places. So Steam Next Fest, the demos, there's like over 400 games, I think it was. Don't quote me on
Yep.
that, but I think that's how many I saw at one point. Thank you, chat, for making sure to get the Game Pass counter since I keep bringing it up. We like to keep track, though the bot isn't anywhere near accurate. We've definitely talked up Game Pass way more than 49 times. Let the records show. But yeah, having everybody kind of find all these hidden gems that a lot of games are like such a small team where the only person making the game is also the person doing the marketing for their game. So you might only find like this hidden gem through one random tweet from some obscure developer, like stuff is that underground or like unpublicized, that's all there is. And then they share a link, and if the game's good enough, it might take off on its own, just like that. So these wish list games, there will be games where you're like, we only saw 30 seconds of a blip of a trailer 2 years ago, but you bet that person is plugging away making it and people are excited about it, but it's been 2 years. So by the time it comes out, you're like, what is that again?
Hmm.
The trailer for the Chocolatier or whatever, that the Stardew Valley developer, the one human who primarily develops that game and does all the music and everything. Uh, yeah, that trailer came out a while ago, and like I've put it so far off my radar that it could come out and I wouldn't know it, because I just put it in my pocket and it goes to the bottom of a deep pocket of forgotten games. So thanks everybody for sharing your other ones, but we're not done yet. So what have we got next? You just talked about endless dungeons. So let's jump over to another community recommendation. This is Cybertown. This was a game that our person described when they talked about it to us. They said that this game, Cybertown, I just said it. What was it? That
Cybertown.
that Cybertown gives them what they wanted from City Skylines. So City Skylines isn't a game that I've personally played, but it's definitely a name I recognize from my friends who play a lot of simulators, especially like industrial simulators. Uh, Benson in chat, who, like I said before, gifted me Satisfactory to play on our Extra live stream a couple of years ago. He's the guy that I've mainly heard talk about this game, but or talk about City Skylines rather. Um, so this may be a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I like what I'm seeing in some of the like pseudo cinematic stuff that you can see here. Kind of reminds me of XCOM, where like when it goes into a like a slow mo kill, or on Chaos Gate when you throw a grenade and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that. So it looks like somewhere between a city simulator, a building, you know, city management simulator, and kind of like a defend your castle kind of situation. Like it's kind of
And almost like an RTS too.
yeah. So another example of bending and blending genres. So this
That's
seems
pretty cool.
cool. Never heard about this today, and never heard about this before today. Uh, but I like what I'm seeing. So this is Cybertown. No idea what the price is or any of that stuff on Steam, but it seems worth wishlisting. Golly, I'm just loving all the words today. Hey, who's our guest? Who's our guest in here?
This is Ava.
Oh, hi Ava.
She's getting grumpy with me because I'm in here in the office.
Yep.
So
Well, you should have known better. You don't worry, Ava. We'll get him next time.
yeah. Um,
So let's bounce back over to you. You got one more on here. It says Harold Halibut.
Harold Halibut, baby. This is one that you. What did you say?
What's going on up there?
He just woofed at me.
Oh.
So Harold Halibut. This is one that we saw a trailer for. Will you stop it? And it just looks. It's like a claymation, like adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
And just looks absolutely incredible. This is one we keep getting like little trailers for, and we're just like, stop showing it. Just give it to us when it's done. But it looks so cool. It almost has a Wes Anderson kind of vibe to
Oh,
it.
as you're saying that now, I wouldn't have gotten that on my own, but with you saying that for sure. Oh, this
Uh,
right here, yeah, the
yeah,
spaceship
it's
with
pretty,
the planets in the
and
background.
it's just like it's just insane to look at because you're just like, this is a game that I can play. And it looks fantastic. Oh, now we got a Max in the chat.
Max in the chat.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, Kitty,
Max, don't you know Shanny's out here talking about Isle of Dogs, not Isle of Cats? Oh,
that's true.
oh man, you get it? Wes
So
Anderson, huh?
anyway, um, yes, this game looks phenomenal. Can't believe that it's a real thing. Like, just look at this. What is this? How
Uh,
they do this?
and this is a video game.
Yes. Um, and it was showed off at a couple of those summer things, like an E3 or a Summer Games Fest or whatnot. And man, it looks cool. Also, seems like this will come out sometime, and we probably won't. Who knows when we'll actually get it?
Indeed.
Um, but I mean, this
Remember when that
trailer
game
is
12 Minutes came out that received like very mixed reception and stuff, but it was like super hyped up because it had famous looking stuff in it. It had famous actors voice acting and stuff. Uh, but then it came out and then everybody was just like, okay,
yep,
well, I feel like that
yep.
this is trying very hard to be Wes Anderson. Not that I have any, qualm with that at all. But this could easily be something that actually, like, it's going to come out and we won't even know it for 3 years. And we'll be like, whatever happened to that? Oh.
Oh, when this gets a release date, I will know. It is wish listed, and I am so excited for it. So,
Harold
I'm
Halibut.
Harold Halibut.
It's still going. Man, this trailer's really going places,
This
huh?
trailer is like a really long story trailer, so I just like went ahead and threw it on because I knew it was a long trailer that we could talk over, and you know. But man,
I'm
this game
I'm here for it.
is wild looking. It just looks insane. Can't believe that it's a real thing that we get to possibly enjoy at some point.
Coming
Coming
soonish.
soon-ish.
Oh, let's see. Actually,
And
there's
that trailer was from what year?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I didn't even
Let me
look.
find out for you.
Uh,
It's coming soon-ish.
Coming soon-ish. That yeah, I'm afraid.
Harold Halibut.
Oh, look at
That
this.
that trailer was a year ago,
That was
so not too bad. But
a year ago.
um,
Check this out. Um, yeah, it shows him. It's like an extra post credits. It shows the human hands versus the size of the creations. That's wild. So
oh yeah,
little.
man, that guy needs to clean his fingernails.
Well, okay. Well, um, the things you discover about stop animation.
Oh yeah.
No one's got a clean fingernail. Not a clean fingernail
Nope.
in sight. What else have we got? I think I had at least one more. I downloaded something. Actually, you know what? I downloaded a trailer I didn't even look at all. Let's check it out. This was one that Shani. Wait a minute. Did that say Devolver Digital? No, no, it didn't. It just looks like so Dungeons Drafters. Dungeon Drafters is the name of the game. It may, my brain thought it was Devolver Digital because, words. Uh, but this was another one that Shani mentioned was wishlisted, and I've seen very, very little of this. I can already tell you that I like the animation style. Let's blow this up a little bit.
Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah, very pretty background and UI. Yeah, very much liking this. Let's see, what can I turn up on? Shani, tell the whole class about Dungeon Drafters. As I pull this up.
He says it's a
Interesting.
procedural
Okay.
tactical RPG deck builder.
Oh, so those are cards down there. Oh, goodness gracious. Uh, those actions at the bottom are cards from your deck. Checks out. That checks out. Dang. Okay, so release date is Q2, second quarter, 2023. So sometime in the next 4 months. Developed by Manolith, not Monolith, Manolith Studios. Published by Dangan Entertainment. Dungeon Drafters is a wow, I can't speak. Dungeon Drafters is a mystery dungeon adventure set. Oh gosh, adventure set in a world where magic is cards and cards are magic. Explore ancient ruins, loot rare cards, and enjoy clever combos to defeat your foes and build the legendary spell deck that could save the world. All right, that's super cool. Um, Now, if I could just level up my reading ability, this would be fantastic.
You'll
Uh,
get there. You just gotta grind.
It says the tag here on Steam is Mystery Dungeon. Is that what it's called with procedurally generated dungeons? Or, if I click it, it doesn't seem to do anything. I don't know. It's fun to find new words for familiar things because, better language allows you to express more uh, complex ideas. So, some people don't like to give a genre to games, and I totally respect that. But I love categorization. I think it's another reason I like deck builders because look at all this stuff. This trailer right now, I see nothing but opportunities.
Oh yeah. This
Holy
looks
cowabunga! Look how long they scroll down. They scroll and they scroll, and I feel like I'm playing Wilmot's Warehouse meets Hearthstone, and they scroll. Um, Wild. So
scrolling.
that's really exciting because that's just nothing but new experiences all the way down. Seems dope. Shanty's got good taste in games, and he recommended this. Yes, some of the spots look like traditional tactics games, while others look closer to like Moonlighter or something. Like almost a hack and slash. Uh, is this a fishing mini game? Oh my gosh, it's a fishing mini game! I love this. I used to not understand why people liked watching reaction videos, but here I am basically recording reaction videos.
She's trying to this Ava is trying to get up into my lap.
Ava, what's going on up there? Hello, pup. Oh, cutie. Cutie with the hair coming out of her ears. You
He's
know?
almost done it.
Oh. Ugh. Now she cuddle. Well, hell yeah. Let's see. I think that's everything. Yes, that is everything we've got on our wish list. Some honorable mentions here that we didn't look up. Roots of Yggdrasil. I think that was another Shanny one. And then Chants, like chanting. Chants of Sonar. Sennaar. Chants of Sonar. Those were two that people shouted out this week when I asked the community what they were playing. I know there are lots and lots more. But yeah, I wanted to point out the difference here was looking forward, because a backlog, you might look at games that came out 5 years ago that you're going to finally get around to. But looking forward to your wish list is like, hey, this thing's not out yet. Or certainly like Darkest Dungeon, the game is playable, but the 1.0 isn't out yet, right? Like the finished version. So I love hearing people's suggestions on what they're excited for. Um, it's just nice to look forward and be excited for new things. Ava agrees. Ava,
Yeah,
100%.
I think she needs to go to the bathroom.
Oh, well, then the perfect time. Then we'll wrap this up. Chris, if you gotta go, then you gotta go. Because we'll go into break here in a minute. But I think that'll do it for the vodcast.